In a fun junk journal dream, DJ's crafting grungy scenes. Hither and yon, where friends all meet. Paper glue and vintage treats.
Hey there, my crafty friends. Welcome to Hither and Yon Studio. And if you've been here before, welcome back. And thanks for coming back. And if you're new here, I'm DJ. And today we're in the digital studio. Usually you'll see my desktop, but today I'm working in Canva. So we're in the digital studio. And we are going to do a quick little make today in Canva. And if you've never used Canva before, don't worry, most of the stuff that I go over is in my Canva for Crafters playlist. You could start there. I'll show you some stuff here and all the steps I'm taking. So even if you've never used Canva before, you can kind of jump in and make something. So when you log into Canva for the first time, which is canva.com, you have two options. You can get a free account where you can do just about everything we're going to do today, with a few exceptions. And then there's a pro account. I think it's about $12 a month. But you don't need a pro account. You just got to work around the pro account features, which I will show you as I go. But don't worry, because Canva has tons of free features. So even if you have a free account, you can definitely make a dozen or so of these in a different variety of themes and designs. All right, so these are weekly planners that we keep on our desk. That's what I want to make today. A weekly planner that we keep on our desk. It has 7 days, some notes, and it keeps track of just little things. It's not going to be an in-depth planner. If you have a couple of things to keep track of during the week, maybe a birthday, a doctor's appointment, you want to film a couple of videos, maybe you need to mail something, you can keep track of them on this. It's for fun and practical use, so why don't we jump in and get started? So when you open Canva, you have this basic layout. You're going to see something like this depending on when you're in Canva. They make updates so many times, guys, so this interface might change. I'm recording this in October of 2025, so if you're watching this a year from now, this could look completely different. It could look completely different in a month from now. We know how they change tech. Okay, so you'll see like the Canva interface here. Up top, we have some options, and on the side, we have some options here. I'm going to go up here to create, but you can also just click on this custom size if you want. But let's go up to create here, and you can see this is highlighted. There's a little square around that. That means we're on our home screen. So if you ever want to get back here, you just hit that little home button. Let's go into create. And now I want to pick a size. So I'm going to go to custom size here, and up in the box here, I want to make sure my units is inches. That's what I'm going to use. If you're going to use centimeters or millimeters, you can use that. I'm going to make mine 11 inches wide by 8.5 inches high. This is going to give me a horizontal view of my calendar. Okay, and we're going to get a blank page. If you've never been in here, I'll just show you a couple of things that will help you kind of move around. This here is your sheet of paper. Imagine this. This is your, kind of canvas, and imagine this to be your piece of paper as if it was in front of you on the desk. And then over here, you have a series of options on the far left here. So we have design, which is what we're seeing here now. Canva is going to give you a bunch of designs that are templates fit for this size. Don't worry about them. We're not going to use them today. You have elements. We're going to use a lot of elements today. And then you have some text. Don't worry about brand. I wouldn't worry about uploads for this, but I'll explain what it does. And then what else we're going to use? That's probably all we're going to use today. So we'll make it simple. First thing we want to do is get some kind of background on here. So what I'm going to do is go up here. I'm on elements, but it doesn't matter. You could be on design. I like to be in elements because then it'll help me find what I need quicker. Yeah, actually you want to be in elements. I'm sorry, I don't mean to confuse you. Be in elements. And then we're going to type, I don't know, let's do autumn background. It's autumn right now, so that's what I'm looking for. And you have some options. You have graphics and you have photos and some videos. We're not going to use videos because this is going to be a static printed piece. It's not going to have any movement. It's going to sit on our desk. We're going to print it out. So no video is needed. You could use a photo. I like to use the graphics because I like a watercolor feel, but you can explore here. What you can do is just click on this see all, and that will open up all the graphics. If you want to see all the photos, click on this see all. I'm going to go up here. And now it's going to drop down into a bunch of different backgrounds that I can use. Now I want you to consider that we're going to lay over onto this some boxes. And depending on how busy the background is, it might be a little hard to look at for an entire week or 2 or 3, depending on how long or how many of these you make. So I like to keep the background pretty but fairly muted, or something that I think isn't too busy but represents kind of the look I'm going for. So... and the other thing is these little crowns that you see are the indicator that this is a pro option. So if you're on the free version, you just want to look for the ones that don't have the crown, or you can come up here to this little filter, which is up here next to the words we just wrote here in this little box on the right, and just click on this free, and then you'll only see free items. So let's work with free for now. And okay, there we go. I wanted to clear that field. I had to hit enter again. Okay, so let's see what populates here. I don't know. We're just going to pick any background. Let's go with this one. It's fine. It might be a little too busy. Okay, so it landed. I'm going to click that again. I just clicked, okay, and it dropped here. So now I want to resize it to my piece of paper here. So there's handles here and there's handles here. If you grab it by the corner, it's going to move so that the size doesn't change as far as the ratio of it. So this is a square. If we drag it here, it's going to remain a square no matter which corner we grab it from. These bars will allow you to adjust it down into a size other than a square. So I'm going to pull them and just kind of resize this to fill the box here, like so. Now, a couple of things you can do if that's a little too bright for you and you don't want that. Obviously, you can switch out the picture, but another thing we can do is drop another square over top of it and just change the transparency a little. I'll just show you how to do that quick in case you get an image that you love, but you don't want to see it that bright and bold and in your face. So if we go back up here to elements and we go into this box and type in a square, we're going to get our shapes. And you want to go under the one that says shapes. Even though we have a square down here, go under the one that says shapes and hit see all. And look for this one that actually looks like a square. Okay, and you know you have the right one because you're going to have handles here on the sides and in the corners. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag this up to cover the whole thing. Don't worry, we'll see our picture again, I promise. I'm going to drag this down a little. There we go. Okay, so we've covered our entire piece of paper, and now what I want to do is I want to change this color to white. So I'm going to go up here to this color, click on that, and then you see a range of colors here. It's going to pick up the colors from the photo that you use, the one that's sitting behind this square that we just put here. So I'm just going to click on this one. You can also click on a white if you'd like. I am going to click on this one since it is similar to the color we're working with. Okay. We still can't see our picture though, so what we need to do is go up to this transparency up here, and we're going to play with this. So click on that, and rather than 100 transparency, I'm just going to bring this down so that we can start to see our image. And now I can kind of play with it and get something that I like. So there, I like that because I can kind of still see what it is, and yet it's not as bright and kind of in my face, but that's okay. You don't have to do this either if you don't want to, because the next step is going to add even more transparency to this, but I'm going to leave it like it is for now. And then what I'm going to do is go back over to elements, and now we have to start to plan out our days of the week. And the way that I like to do this is to put the week up at the top. So I will do something like week of, and then I'll put a line to a line. So I can just kind of handwrite in the week, and this way I can reuse the same sheet over and over again, and I'm not adding a date. However, if you want to come in here and add a date each, for each week, you can certainly do that. But I'm going to show you kind of how I like to lay these out. And then once you learn how to do this, you can kind of play with it and make it your own. So up at the top, I'm going to add the week, and then I'm going to add Monday through Friday, kind of across the middle. And then I'm going to add Saturday and Sunday over to the side. I don't need them that big for Saturday and Sunday. But again, if your week is busier on a Saturday or Sunday, but yet Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday aren't, you might want to arrange these boxes. Just keep that in mind as I'm building this out. All right, let's get into it. So I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to put in square again, but it's showing it for me because I did use it. So I'm just going to choose this one, but if you type in square again, maybe you don't see it. Under shapes, this is the one I want with the rounded corners. I like the way that looks. If you like the squared off corners, use this one. All right, it's a little hard to see right now because it's blending in with this background, so I'm just going to change it to white. Again, I'm going up here to the color, and I want to make sure that the handles are around this while I'm doing it. If I don't see handles like that, then it's not going to change the color on this. So I want to make sure I have the handles by clicking on it, go up here to color, and then click on white. And now I'm just going to use the handles here to kind of stretch this across the top. Okay, kind of like that. I think that looks kind of cool. I'm just clicking off to get rid of the handles. See, I'm just clicking off. The rounding on that is a little too much for me now. So what I want to do is fix that. I'm going to click on this again. I'm going to go up here to corners. And I'm going to watch over here since I'm covering it up on this side. I'm going to watch over here. And I'm just going to kind of pull this back. You can see it's changing my corners a little. See how it's moving? All right. I think I'm going to go to like 20. And all 4 sides. If you wanted to do just a couple of sides, you can play with this number, but I'm going to leave it like it is. If you wanted to add a stroke around that or a line around your rectangle, you can do that here under stroke style. And you can add a dotted stroke. You could add a dash stroke in this size or this size. You can add a regular solid line. And then this down here regulates the size or the thickness of your stroke. I don't like to have a stroke, but if you wanted to do that, you certainly could. And then this is your stroke color, and you can change it just like we changed the background. Okay, I'm going to go to no stroke because I don't like the strokes. I'm going to leave this, and I'm just going to go over to text here, and I'm going to add a heading. All right, it doesn't matter if you like that font right now. We're just going to add our heading. It drops it on the page, and then you can click in the box and highlight it, kind of like you would on a word processor of any type. And then I'm just going to write in week of, and then that too. So I'm just doing some underscores there. And then I'm going to find a font that I like. So in order to find a font that I like, and actually let me make this caps since everything's kind of caps there. You can play with it, get what you want. We're going to highlight this whole thing. And then I'm going to go up here. And this is the font options right here, Canva Sans. And you get some options here for fonts. Now you're going to see my uploaded fonts in here, uploaded fonts. But then you'll see like popular fonts. You're not going to see this on yours is what I meant. I'm sorry. I have uploaded some custom fonts, but you won't see this on yours because I've uploaded different fonts that I have in my font collection. What you'll probably see if you haven't uploaded any fonts is just this area here that says popular fonts. And let's see, does it do anything else? No, I guess it's going to just stick with popular fonts. But one of the things you can do is if you're kind of looking for a certain font or you want it thick or thin or bold, you can use some of these options that Canva gives you by default up here. So underneath this box here where you can search for fonts, you have handwriting, corporate, display, and then there's a little arrow here. You can also see headings, paragraph, and when you click on these, you'll see different types of fonts. So these are what Canva would consider heading fonts. And if we click this back arrow, we can go to handwriting, and this is what Canva considers their handwriting fonts. And if you click on these and watch my text as I do that, you'll see that my text is changing. So you can kind of play with these until you get one that you like. You can also come up into this box and type tall, and you'll get some taller fonts, or bold, and you'll get some bolder fonts, and you can kind of see if any of those fit, or you can just kind of scan their popular fonts until you find something that you think you might like and put that in there. All right, so I'm going to use one of the ones that I've uploaded. Where is it? Sunday Farmhouse. Okay. This Sunday Farmhouse is actually a font that I got off of Creative Fabrica, I believe. I will link that below in the description box so you can get one if you'd like. And in order to use it in Canva, though, you do need a pro account. So if you don't have a pro account, just ignore all that. And then, let's see, I just wanted to see, yeah. I wanted to point out that there are some fonts in here that are pro. Anything with this little crown is what indicates a pro item. And if you don't have a pro account, you can't use them. All right. So anyway, I have picked my font, but I noticed that, well, a couple of things. First of all, it is sitting in the center and I don't want that. So I'm going to just highlight it, and I'm going to go up here to alignment. And if I click it once, it's going to kick it left. If I click it again, it's going to center justify. If I click it again, it's going to go right. Click it again, it's going to go center. I want it to the right. So I'm going to do that. And then if I get this bar over here, I can kind of slide it over just a little so my font's kind of within that box. And then I can... I'm going to click off for a second. So I'm going over here to this area and I'm clicking off. I just want to see how it looks in that white. It still looks a little big to me. So what I'm going to do is click on it and I'm going to highlight it again. And I'm going to show you how to change the font size. So there's a couple of ways to do this. The first one is to highlight it like I just did, and then go up here to the font size, which is where you see the number 64 here. And I'm just going to click this decrease font size. And that's going to make my font size go down a bit. So that's a little better for me. The other thing you can do is if you have the box selected and you have the bars around it like this, you can just grab one of these corners and make your font bigger or smaller that way. And that's usually the way that I do it. So yeah, you can do that. And then I'm just going to kind of center it there. And I think I can make these a little bigger. So I'm just going to add a couple more. And you see how it wrapped? That's because I made this box smaller. So we can just make it larger again. Just grabbing this handle up here. All right. And I'm going to go. So that's better for me. So now I can write my week in. If you don't like that color of the font, you can just select it and then go here to the font color or the text color and pick a different color. I'm going to pick one of the ones that are in that background. So there we go. And now I think I also want to change the transparency of this little rectangle in the back, but you can see like it's really hard to select because it keeps wanting to select this text. So what I can do is first I'm going to click on this text and I'm just going to bring this back a little because I have a little room to play with before it starts wrapping, and it'll tell you when it's going to wrap, so you can just grab it till it's not wrapping. That makes it a little easier for me to grab this box, but if I needed to and I still couldn't grab the box, I can go up here to position and go to layers. And then I can grab my box there. I can just highlight it, and now it's highlighted there. If I want to highlight my background or the words, I can do it all here from layers under position. Okay? All right, but I'm going to grab my box here, and I'm going to lower the transparency a bit because I do still want to see some of that background. Okay, I brought it to about 77. I like that. If we click off, we can kind of see how it's coming to life now. I really like that. So we're going to stick with it. So now we need to do the days of the week. And I'm going to use a little trick to save a little time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this background here for the words again. And I'm going to go up here to this little duplicate button. It's right next to the trash can up here on the top. And it will only show up if you have that background selected. So I have it selected and I'm going to duplicate. Okay, and now it made a duplicate of that, and it's right on top, so I'm going to grab it and bring it down a little bit. All right, and now we're just going to adjust it to fit kind of maybe Monday. All right, and I want to leave a little room at the bottom for notes, so I'm not going to go all the way down. So all I did was just use the handles to make that the size that I wanted. All right, I'm going to guess at what size I need. I'll show you how to adjust it all at once when we're done. All right, now I have Monday's box, so I'm going to make another one and do Tuesday. And I'm going to click and drag that. And you can see as I'm dragging it, it's kind of snapping to some lines here. That's telling you that it is equal. See that pink line at the top? It's telling me that they are now aligned on the top. And if I just move it a little, you can see that it's aligned through the center of that other box, and then it will align to the center of the entire page if I keep moving it. You see how the line is going across the entire page rather than just to the one on the left? And that's how you can see what it's aligning to. Okay, now it's aligning to the one on the left. Now it's aligning to the entire page. Okay, just so you know the difference. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. And then I'm going to hit duplicate again. And now Canva is going to automatically place it the equal distance that I moved my second box to. So let's stick with it. We're just going to do 2 more. And let's do one for the weekend, even though it's going to go off our page. All right. And now I'm going to adjust them all at once so that I can make sure they're all fitting on the page. All right, rather than sit here and fight with each of the sizes, I'm just going to click that one, leave it clicked. I'm going to hold my shift key and I'm going to click on the rest of them. Okay, now they're all selected, and you can see that because my selection box is going all the way around them. All right, now that we have them all selected, I'm going to come over here to this side and just click and drag this in. And now you can see that it's resizing the width of all of these at once. All right, it's a quick and simple way to kind of get the same width and height for things that you're trying to align. So there we go. Now we have all of these the same size, and I'm just going to select them again. And all I did was just click over here and drag across with my mouse and let go. It selected everything here. If by chance it also happens to select your background for some reason, you can just come up here and hold your shift key and just click, and it'll remove that part of the selection from your choices. Okay, I'm going to shift this up a little, like so. And then I'm going to go up here again to this box that's this background here. And I'm going to duplicate it again, and I'm going to drag this one down from my notes. And I'm just going to make it a little bigger, like so. Easy, right? You can do this. And the other thing I'm going to do is maybe group these together with the text, because I want to make sure that I can move these together when I want to move them, because I've already aligned it to this, so I want to make sure I don't misalign it. So what I can do is I can click on the words, and I can hold my shift key, and I can click on this background, and then you see how the word group appears up here. You just want to click that, and now these two are grouped together. If you want to ungroup them, you just hit ungroup, and it will have them so that you can select them individually. But I'm going to group them together. That way I can move them at the same time. All right, and then I can do the same thing here if I want, but I'm not going to do it at this point. I just selected them all, so I just like dragged my mouse, so click and drag and let go. It selected them all, and I think they're good. Now, if you want, you can kind of, let's say you wanted to make this gap a little thinner because you want these to be just slightly wider. What you can do is you can take one of the rectangles, it doesn't matter which one it is, take one of the ones on the end, just kind of push it next to, let's say you put it next to that one like that. Now we're going to grab them all again, and then we're going to go up to position. We're going to come over here to arrange. We were on layers. We're going to come over here to arrange, and I'm going to space evenly horizontally. So I'm just going to come under this space evenly, click on horizontally, and watch when I click that what happens to those backgrounds. All right, what it did was it just spaced them equally, so I didn't have to do that myself. And what I can do now is I got a little more room. I can actually expand these out. Okay, I know I'm off the page, but now I can select this one again and kind of bring it in over to the edge like that. All right, and maybe I'll bring this one over to the edge like that. All right, and then I'm going to select them all again. I'm going to go up to position, and I'm going to hit horizontally again, and now it evenly spaced them again. All right, and if you're happy with how this looks, you can hit group, but I'm going to do something with Saturday and Sunday here, so before you do that, hang on. All right, so my Saturdays and Sundays are a little more loungy. So I'm going to make Saturday and Sunday just half boxes in my world. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to click on this box and bring it up. This I know is halfway, but I'm going to want a little space. So I'm just going to go up a little more. And then I'm going to come back up here to this duplicate. And I'm going to drag that one down and match it to the bottom. And now maybe I want them to be a little less space there. So I'm just going to take this top one and grab it and drag it down. And then I'm going to use my shift key to also select the bottom here and grab that and just bring it up a little. Okay, and so what that did was make them evenly spaced here. I like that spacing a little better. It works for me. My notes can be a little taller now, so I'm just going to click on that one and bring it up a little bit. Okay, and if you see that 0.135 number, that's just telling you that the spacing there is equal now between the notes box and the bottom of those backgrounds above it and the space that I put between my Saturday and Sunday over there. So it's just a good way to kind of get everything aligned in a certain way. It does some snapping for you so that you can do that. If you don't like the snapping, one little trick you can use is to hold the Command key on a Mac or Control key on a Windows keyboard to eliminate the snapping temporarily without turning it off completely. All right, so here's where we are. We need to add in some days of the week. So I'm going to go back to text over here on the left. And I'm going to add a subheading this time. All right, there's my subheading, and I'm going to type out Monday in all caps like that. It's way too big for me, so we're going to need to adjust that, and I want to match this font, so let's do all of that. So what I'm going to do is double click this to highlight it, or you can just start at the beginning and highlight it by clicking and dragging your mouse. Once you see that blue that's highlighting all of it, we're going to go up to our font, and I'm going to pick my Sunday Farmhouse. And I'm going to bring this down probably to about 24 is good. And then you see how when your font gets smaller, or when any object on the page gets really small, you start to get these handles so that if you can't grab it with your mouse, you can grab the handles to kind of move it around. Okay, so that usually starts to pop up around when the object might be too small to click on with your mouse. All right, and then as I'm holding it and dragging it around, you can see that I'm getting some lines on the page. So the dotted line is telling me that I am centered inside this specific background. if I go over here, what it's telling me is I am within, you see how it's a big box around the outside? Well, Canva gives you this margin that you can use, or a bleed that you can use if you're printing stuff professionally, or if you just want to keep stuff within a certain margin. I think that's about an inch. I don't find that to be useful for this particular project, so I'm going to ignore it, and I'm actually going to move this until it's aligned and centered in that box there, like that, and I'm going to bring it up to where I want it and let go, and I'm going to click off just to see what it looks like. So there we go. I think that works fine. So I'm going to click on it and duplicate, and then I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to duplicate again and just do that across. Oh, I didn't. I let it go. So let's do that again. I'm just going to delete. I want to show you how you can do. Okay, so I'm back on Monday. I'm going to duplicate, and then I'm going to use the handles to bring this up here. Okay, and then I'm going to hit duplicate, and then I'm going to hit duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. And what it's doing is it's aligning it for me. It's just a time saver. We're going to have to align it anyway because we have to change, you know, the days of the week, but it's helpful. And then if we click it again, it's just gonna, since there's nothing next to it, it's just gonna duplicate it, and then I can bring this down. So this will be my Sunday. All right, let's change these. Okay, because I had it on center alignment, I didn't have to realign all of these. If you have it right aligned, you might have to. So just something to keep in mind. So there we go. I changed all of these to my days of the week. And now I want to put one of these down here that says notes. So I'm just going to click on any one of these and duplicate, and then drag one down here. And I'm going to align it with the Monday because I like that. And I'm just going to write in notes. So that's the basics. You could just leave it like this and you're done. That's it. We're going to print it and go. And I'll show you how to do that at the end. But I want to decorate mine. So let's go get some decorative elements. I'm going to look for some fall stuff. Depending on what background you're using or what colors you're using, you might want to do something a little different. And I'll show you some of the ones that I did previously that have some fun designs on them. But let's go over to elements again. That's where we're going to get our graphics that are going to, you know, help build this out and make it nice. I'm going to go over here to graphics, and I'm going to take this square out of here because I don't want a square. And I'm just going to type in autumn. Let's see what it gives me. I want to go to graphics and hit see all. It gives me a bunch of items I can use here, but again, it's showing me some of these pro items because I'm on a pro account. It'll probably show you the pro items too. You just can't use them if you're on a free account. You can use them, you can add them to your design, but you're not going to be able to download and print it unless you pay for a pro account. So I'm going to go up here to free again. So again, I'm just on this filter. I'm going to go to price free and come down here. And what do we got that's free? I guess I could use Hello Autumn. All right, I clicked it and it dropped it on the page here. Now I'm just going to resize it. I'm going to bring it up here like that. I like it up there. You can put it down here too. All right, we'll do that. We have some fun acorns and an oak leaf. I'm going to grab them and I'm going to bring them down here under my notes. Just add a little accent here and put them wherever. Okay, and if I want to look for something specific, like a mushroom, I'll drop that in there. And hello, you're so cute, but I don't know, you don't seem to match my theme. I'm gonna go with maybe these guys. I like them. Okay, and I'm just gonna drop them over on Sunday. Doesn't matter where you put them. Completely up to you. All right, so some other things that you can do, and these are, you're going to find a lot of these are going to be pro items. And look, if you're going to use this all the time, guys, it is so worth it to get a pro account. I know, though, cost is relative, and we're all on different budgets. So, if you can afford it, obviously, but you save a little money too if you get an annual plan. But, of course, you're paying probably over $100 for that if you're getting the annual plan. But then you have it for the whole year. If you are going to use it all the time for designs and to play with it and to make junk journals and all sorts of crafts, then it's well worth it. But again, there's so much here under the free that, you probably can just play with it for a while and see if you really like it and then decide. All right, so I'm going to go up here in my search box again. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm just going to write in planner to do. And we're going to get some items here. So I'm going to go to see all again. And now we get some fun stuff that we can maybe add to our calendar. So you could add maybe this. That's really cute. We could kind of put a little to-do list inside one of our days if you want, and you can duplicate that and have a couple items. I don't know, that rating looks really small though. I don't know if I'd actually use that, so I'm not going to take that out of there. What we can do though is we can swap out like our notes. So let's go planner notes. Okay, I'm going to switch this to free. And oop, it put something on here. I don't want that. I'm going to delete it by hitting this little trash can. Okay. I like this notes. That's fun. So I'm going to click on this notes and get rid of it. Again, use the trash can or the delete button on your keyboard. And let's put this on here instead. That's really fun. I think I want to use that instead. I'm going to bring that over here. There we go. All right. I have a birthday on Friday, so I'm going to try... let's do a cupcake. Ooh, these are fun. That one looks yummy. Looking for something fall-ish with a birthday candle. Do we have one? Maybe. Okay, let's try birthday cupcake. Oh, this one's kind of fallen. It has a candle. There's some cute ones in here. All right, let's try birthday cake. Oh, way more selections. Okay. Oh, maybe I'll just use the balloons. I like that. All right, I have a birthday on Friday. We're going to put that here. And I'm just going to take one of these words and I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm just going to bring that down here and... put that in. It's a little big, so I'm going to make it a little smaller. Okay, and maybe I'll change the color. Again, text color. And make it maybe one of these fun colors. Oh, you can't see that at all, can you? All right, let's make it, I don't know. We can go up here to text color and type in brown, and it'll give me a whole bunch of different browns. So... I'll use this one. Or maybe some red. Yeah, there we go. I like that one. Let's see if we can do appointment. We're still under graphics. And we're still in free. So I could do something like this little calendar. And maybe I'll put that on Wednesday. Let's say it's in the afternoon, so you could use the top of this for like morning stuff and the bottom for afternoon if you want. So I dropped that there. Now I can change the colors of those, so maybe I'll make it more fall-ish. And I'll leave the white. All right, so we'll do that. And then I'm just going to grab this text again and duplicate it. And I'll say, Doctor appointment 3 p.m. Like that. All right, so you can add a lot of little things in here. Let's do autumn leaves. I'm going to add some more decor. Some more decor stuff. These are cool. Let's hang these somewhere. Maybe we'll do that. That's kind of fun. And what else do we have? Oh, there's a little pile of leaves. That's cute. Maybe we can take these. Kind of bring them down over here in the corner. Maybe we'll find a cute squirrel or a chipmunk or something. Oh, these are so cute. Look at him. Look at him. He looks more like a hamster. All right, we got any cute squirrels. Oh, look at him with his little scarf. We're going to get him. I like him. All right, you're going to sit here right on my notes like that. All right, guys. So you've done all the things and you've made it as pretty as you want for this week. Now, if you don't want to put in the particular week, you can just leave it all blank and then handwrite everything in. I just wanted to show you some fun options. You can also, instead of putting these lines here, you can actually write out the week and print these out each week. But if it's something that you want to use week after week, then you might not want to have these in there. And you might just want to have, kind of a blank slate. And then to get it onto your computer, what you want to do is go up here to the share. And then you're going to look for this little download. And you have some options here. It's going to suggest the one that is best for what you're going to use it for. This particular design is kind of picking up that this is a graphic. So a PNG is going to be best because you have some text in here. So I would just go with that. If it doesn't select PNG, you can click on this and change it. So you could do a JPEG. That's going to be a lower quality image though. So I would stick with PNG. You could also use PDF print and PDF standard. However, the PDF print is going to be a really large file and PDF standard is really better for emailing. So it's not going to be the best to print. I'm going to print these. So I'm just going to keep it to PNG and then I'm going to hit download. And as long as I just have one page on here, it's going to start to download to my computer. Okay, and then it's just going to ask me where I want to save it. So I'm just going to select, I'm on a Mac, so I would just save it wherever it is that I want to save it to. And then I would go find that file and open it up and print it like I would any other document. And you can print out a bunch if you want to use them for like a month or something, or you can just print out a few and then come in and get a new design. And you can always have a fresh new design and something to work with. These also make really great gifts. So you can print out a bunch of them and kind of wrap them together or staple them at the top and then give them to somebody as a little desk calendar that they can use. You can also kind of flip this image on its side and print two to a page. If you're good at doing that, I'm not going to get into that in this video, but you could do something like that. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to show you some other designs that I made. Give me one sec. All right. So here's some designs that you saw in my promo thumbnail. This one was another autumn one that I did with my little squirrel friend there. This is a very unicorny, reminds me of MySpace. So I have a little unicorn one. I did use some pro items in here. So if you have a free account, some of these items you're seeing might not be available. And then I just did one here that was more of a basic blue. And then I just added in like movie night, clean house, things like that. I thought this was fun. And you can keep going. If you want to add more pages, you can just hit add page. If you don't want to redo this whole thing, just duplicate it. You can duplicate the page here. And then you can just go in and change the background, change the colors. This one I did, I think it's white, but because it's on a blue background, it looks like it's blue. You can change the color of your background. You can change the color of these boxes. You can change the color of your font. You can take things out. You can add things in. You know, then you have a starting point. And as a special gift down below, I'm going to give you a free template that has this already put together, but I'm going to use a Canva font because some of you may not have this font and it won't pop up for you. So I'm going to give you one with a free Canva font in place. So you can just go down to the description box and that will link you over to a template that you can open in Canva, but you have to have a Canva account first. So just be sure you have a Canva account, and then you can open the template. It will open up in your Canva account. It'll give you a base to get started with, and then you can try to make your own as well. That's the video, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Leave me a comment and let me know if you'll be giving this a try or if you have any questions. And don't forget to subscribe if you like videos like this, or if you like junk journaling or paper crafting videos, because we also do a lot of that. And yeah, that's it, guys. I will see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day or night. Bye!